Hi, it's Adele, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, please make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell button below, because then you'll be notified every time I come out with the brand new YouTube, and you do not want to miss it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how I put together either a sketchbook or an art journal that might be a great idea for you. And I use it, and I started it using collage papers. Now, if you look in this video right here, I'm going to show you exactly how I created the collage papers that I'm using in today's video. And this is, first of all, let me show you what I'm using. This is a Canson watercolor paper. It's in size 9 by 12 and it's 140 pounds. So it's spiral bound. I purposely got a spiral bound because I wanted to go through and be able to have it lay flat. And so whether it's a journal or something that you're just experimenting with, we have lots and lots of collage papers that we use. You know, I don't know about you, but I stacks and stacks and stacks of them, and I don't want them to just sit there. I want to use them. So this is one way you can get started, and it's great. What I do is go through my collage papers, and on every single page, I cut out one of the larger papers that I have here. Again, these are from old journals that I bought on eBay, and I tear them out, and look how gorgeous the writing is. It's beautiful, and it's a great start. I like to have an easy, great start to something. So anyway, I'm going to go through what I started, and then I'm going to show you exactly how to add on to it. But this particular watercolor group here is they're 30 pages. And so I thought, how cool would that be to do a month's worth? And if you just spend a little bit of time putting a big piece down to start with, so that when every day or even once a week, if you go through this, you can pick and choose and do things that will add to it. Every page is totally different. And I cut it out to just fit the page. If they were larger, then I cut the page. But there's so many great options. Now here is just the small page that I had, but I put it in the middle. And this is a good start for another one. For instance, say you want to come in here and, okay, I'm going to come into the studio and I'm going to get started. What am I going to do? And I have lots of collage papers that I have on restaurant trays because they stack up really easily and you can see it very easily. So if I want to come in and do something, let's see, you can just look through your collage papers and say you want to put something here or even over here. You can extend it. How about a different color? Say you like this color with this. Let me show you one of the great things that I use. This is a 15-inch just like paint splatter you get at the paint store, at the hardware store. And I hold this down, and if you want, you can just easily tear the paper. There you go. It's so wonderful. And then you could have it this way, you could put it this way, and then you just add to it every day. There are lots of things I could do. Let's see, I see some hot pink and some other colors here. If we wanted to, if you wanted to really explore reds, a whole entire of these binders could be reds. Another could be black and whites. Another could be blues. It all depends on what you want to do, but it's just a wonderful way to get started. Now look, here's another one of the pages. This is from the large pallets, this size palette. It's a large palette, and after I finish painting them or using the paint to mix on, I just spread the paint out afterwards, let them dry, and then cut it off. But look how fantastic. Here's one, and I could easily add like to this one. I'm going to show you. Here is my blue tray. I keep my restaurant trays organized by color. It's just the way I do it. Here's one of my, here, let me go. Here's a black and white one. So say I wanted to add to this. So you just try different things. Here's one that's very cool. And so I might lay it on here. I put this down here and we'll tear it off and keep that going. So I could do that. I could maybe do, let's look through these collage papers. I could do a stripe. I could do the stripe up here or here. Look at that. And you just keep adding on. But it's a great way to have something to start with. Now let's keep going. This is another one of the palette papers. So it's large. This is another one of them. Look how fantastic it is. These are gorgeous just like they are. And if you want to, if you work on these, what I like about this system is that you can tear it out here and there's a perforated line that you can either cut this piece or you can tear it. And I wanted to work with different shapes. So here we have a different shape, tall and narrow. Here's another one from the palette series. This one is just cut out shapes, and I just love the shapes in these 3 colors. This one is just, I started just cutting from the large palette piece and just doing something really interesting like that. But suppose you did something like this and you thought, ooh, I want to add something to it. What would I add? It could be a piece of collage paper like this. And you could put it down. If you want to cut it, you can cut it, but this is a great, easy way to do this. And then do it this way. Let's see. And then it would fit perfectly. Look at that. It really picks up on anything you want. And this I did just because I love the shape. And suppose you did something like this and you wanted to add something to it. But say you want to add maybe some reds to it. Here are some of the reds. Maybe you want to add something really bright and colorful. Maybe you want to add and if you're just looking at shapes, to me, I just love, sometimes I want to do shapes. Sometimes I even want to just experiment with, okay, I have this dark color. What would I like to put with it? And you can experiment. And if you don't, for some reason, if you don't want to glue it on here and commit to something, you could always use some tape and keep it on there and later remove it so you can try different things. And I just fold it over, put it on the back, and you can move it around and say here, up here, or even put it this way, however you want to do it. So I kind of like the shapes, how they come off, because this negative space is so fabulous. So say you just want to leave that there and think about it, you could do that. Here's another one with just blue. Let's see if we wanted to add something to that blue. It could be something like this. Now, suppose we wanted to do this. Let me show you how I would do it. This is what I do to add it, to put it on here. Okay, so I have this, and what I do is I use matte medium. These are thin, so the medium works. If you have something that's thicker, then you're going to want to use a gel. But I just put it on the back of here. And I spread it out with my brush because the medium is like a glue. And then I'll put it on here. Okay, and then I usually take either a spreader of some sort. This is a Bondo spreader, and just spread it out. And then I'll take a paper towel and just come after and wipe off the excess. And for some reason, sometimes they might smear on the edge, you know, a color might smear. And to me, that's totally fine because this is a work in progress. Look at these beautiful colors. And I wanted to show you something. Here is one that isn't filled with tons of paint, but I have just a little bit on here. So I want to start with something neutral. So say I do this. I'm going to put this on here, put it over around. Make sure you get it all over, especially on the edges. I think I added too much there. That's okay. Okay, here we go. And just so you know, this mat is not shiny and it will dry clear. Okay, so then I just turn it over. I try to put it inside, and I have to be aware that here is where the perforated edge is. So if for some reason I want to keep this, or there's a possibility that I might want to tear it out and keep it or put it in a book or even sell it, then I have that. And then I use this. I always start from the inside and go towards the out of the paper to lay it down flat. And if you find, and then I wipe off the excess, I make sure I wipe it all off. And now you have to be careful because when you're letting this dry, this is what I wanted to show you. If you've done something like this, I use you can use wax paper or a paper palette, and I put it on top like this when I close the book. So if there are any of the glue or the medium goes on the edge, then I don't have to, then it won't stick to the pages and rip. But look at this. I wanted to show you. I tore this out of this page, and I tore to fit here, but I like this right here. So I'm going to tape it here and think about it, and then I could later, watch this. Later, I could do something, if that's a blue, I might want a blue theme. So what could I do that would add to it? I've got all these collage papers. And again, I could do something like this in here. That's really interesting. So let me move this over here. You can, again, stack up all your restaurant trays with all your collage paper to keep them organized. And look how fantastic. And this is one I'm painting. I'm in the process of painting the cover with gesso because I want to glue one on top of it. And I'm going to put this one on top of it. So I think that's all we've got for today. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next video.